Right, this is the third video that I'm putting on YouTube, and it's about 3D scanning for care homes. And really this is a way to get people to come in and help deliver better health in care homes and to help support you in what is a very difficult job. So anyway, the background to this is the number of dentures that go missing every year in care homes and hospitals, and these are government figures on a course I went to a couple of years ago. So if I can find my yes, let's see how we get on. Right, so I think this will probably play as a video. Yeah. Ideally, once you're happy with your dentures, it wants an identical record. This app uses the same technology as your phone for facial recognition. Follow the instructions, and when the monitor is green, press save, then send. We will save your scan, from which we can make an identical copy on a 3D printer. Do it now while they fit well and before you lose or break them. Either order a spare set now from the drop-down menu. You can select a variety of acrylic dentures from full cosmetic dentures, which are a two-stage process and take about a week, or identically fitting emergency basic dentures with a standard colour and pink gums, with the advantage of a quick return within a few days. More advice on looking after false teeth and providing oral health care for others, use the Care for Teeth website. For maintaining healthy teeth and gums for yourself, download the Teeth for Life app. Back in the room. And yeah, so if you go to my YouTube channel, which is called Teeth for Life, I think you also get to a dental health service. Oh, please subscribe. And so there's another video after this, and I'll probably do the same thing where I'll either talk over it again, which could be a bit disturbing, or I'll just add the full video at the end of this sequence of videos. So I think this is going to take about 20 minutes in total. So let's see how we get on with this one. Well, clearly not very well, but it just had some sound on it, so I'll talk over it. And this is just to show what we can do with scanners. Obviously this is someone with teeth, but the same thing applies if you've got dentures. So anyone can scan. You just have to be a dentally nurse qualified, and that's about it. And then actually the person to send the email with the data on doesn't have to be dentally qualified at all. But we do need to use registered labs to ensure that the materials are compliant with the, I think it's MHSA, anyway, you know what I mean. But there are loads of different ways of making these dentures, and it's changed recently, which I'll come on to. I can't remember if I've done it already, but these are actually just made and painted. And as you can see, I kept playing around with what would I call this. It was called 3D dental in the end, and but I have stuck with dental health service, even though I'm messing about with my capital letters. Anyway, let's move on. Oh yeah, and this was just to show that I have to, yeah, sort of knowledge about different stuff we can do about dentures and things I've done in the past. But this is like you can see there's a gap there, it's a gold crown and a few teeth that got missing. And not everyone can afford implants, and so what we can do is we can do these different types of dentures. So this is the same person, and this is a flexible denture, so it's a sectional flexible denture that we're taught not to do, but the patients love them, and there's the margin there. So there's lots of things that we can do with scanning, and this is just to demonstrate how we can do copy dentures. And so again, I think there's a bit of noise with this one, but this is something that I did, as you can see there. This is November 22, when I was playing around with my iPhone, seeing that if we could make dentures using the iPhone to scan. So this is called Q-Alone, and then I think there's a video again here. But I think a football team are playing.
In May 2019, I suffered an aortic.
Oh, anyway, it wasn't football. That was on Sunday. That was Bob Harris. Anyway, this is so this is an article that was made and I think it was presented in December 22, and the article was printed, as you can see there, 23. And back in when was that? November 22, I was talking to Yui about making these sectional dentures and the idea of doing the scanning, and so kind of a crossover here. But basically, that study shows that they made dentures in a single colour, right, which is obviously just white, for people that really can't get out of care homes but can then still eat and then still smile and they got their teeth. So these copy dentures are excellent and they cost buttons. The material cost is about £12. And so, you know, the cost can go up and up and up. But I've made a few, and this is in my shed, as I think there's a picture of my shed elsewhere. And some of them are ones that I've made, the ones that are purple. And you know, then as you can see, I've had to go at painting. Thank God you can't see the painting. But, you know, you can do all kinds of things. If you look closely, there's one that's all pink. And so while you think you can make them on a 3D printer, you know, in theory you can. You've got to use the right materials, otherwise you could end up with an awful rash and worse. And also when they're made, you do need to put in supports so that it doesn't actually, it keeps stable, and so will fit identically in the mouth. And that's what you're aiming for. And it works. So the lab in Ireland that I went to, I think there's probably a picture of that. That's showing that they can made in a single colour, and because there's a single colour, they'll be a lot cheaper, surprisingly enough. But also, I would say the traditional way, the current way of making them on a 3D printer is you make them a one tooth colour and one gum colour. And so that's what happens when you just basically, you have when you scan the denture, you have what's called in other terms, a prescription, and you get an exact replica. And so you can also say like the refresher set. So I've made one, right? I'm retired, so I made it a couple of years ago, got my friend to fit them. And the only issue is that, as with all dentures, when you first put them in, it takes a while for them to bed in. Well, not even bed in, it's just the saliva sort of getting under them, having a moist mouth, and that helps with the suction. So the guy that I made them for, I don't think we've got a picture of him, he put them in his mouth, he was talking and smiling within 5 minutes, and his old dentures are the spare set. So there's a kind of wriggle round that we can talk about, because dentures have to be fitted by a dentist due to the 1984 Dental Act. But really, that needs upgrading. Some of these things that we should be able to do, you know, it's either this or nothing. So you want to scan the teeth before they get lost in a care home. And, you know, so either the scanner can come to you, or you can, you know, if you're a patient looking at this, or someone with false teeth, then you can, you know, take your teeth or your parents' teeth to the scanner. And the other interesting part was that, as I wrote down there to remind me, when I was at UE, that what happened was we realised that the scanner on your mobile phone wasn't good enough. However, there's a scanner that just, a lot of these home scanners are probably good enough. And so we tested on a home scanner that cost £500, and I've got one. Well, I've given it to the care home. But basically, it works. Takes longer. It's a bit, you know, there's bits that you have to do, like you have to dry the denture, then you have to put a coating on it because it's a bit reflective, but it does work. And so the choice is then to scan, and it takes about 20 minutes, and I'll put a video of that at the very end on how to do it. But you need to get it sent to a lab, right? Don't do it on your little printer at home. So at UE, that bit of separating the teeth from the gum can be automated, and I think we were going to use technology used for turbine blades, and this is the robotics side can do this. So if they could automate it, that would make the actual long-term costs go down, because it takes about 20 minutes to separate manually the teeth from the gum on a computer. But in August last year, this came out, and basically it's a 3D printer that prints just like your old desktop printer. So it has 3 colours, it sprays them on. And so on that particular printer, it can make 9 dentures, all completely different colours, different coloured teeth. The teeth can have different colours throughout them, not just the one single colour. And so this is, you know, it's only been out, it's been out less than a year, but as it says there, it's monolithic, which basically means you don't join them together. So that's a stage that you're missing. It's whether the material's compliant, but I'm pretty sure it's used in the US, in the States. So it should, you know, teeth are teeth, mouth to mouth. It should be fine here. So these are the people that I went to Ireland. When did the date? Oh yeah, and it's at Portlaoise. I forgot to put in the spelling. I was looking at the spelling, then I forgot. And then this is a little video at the end, and I think this is her talking about what we were doing. And I just said, "Will you show me?" So this was the first time that I saw. And this is on, what was it, Medit?
3Shape.
3Shape.
Yeah, so we cleaned up the files in Medit, and now we created the copy denture in 3Shape.
Can you drop the teeth into the
gingiva? Yeah, there you go.
Great. I think that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that was Imelda, who was doing the talking, the woman on the left, and this is her lab. And so these are the people that make the dentures that, well, are just excellent. And she's developed a technique. She's a denturist, a denture therapist, and she uses all sorts of combination of old technology. So any dentists out there using your green stick and using the silicone, and then you scan that. You don't, you scan what you've made from that model, and then it's all done. It can be done digitally, and instead of getting a replica, you can get an ideal cosmetic. You can open up the bite, all kinds of things you can do. Anyway, I don't know why I put this in, but this, I think, oh yeah, well, I had a scanner. I think this is an excuse because I had a scanner that I got a couple of years before this. So my dental scanner cost 60,000. The scanners that you can do like Imelda uses are under 10 now, and they're far better than what I had. What I had was really fiddly, but they got a reasonable result, so you can always get testimonials. Hi, this is Lee. He's just had a CERC made on a root-filled upper right 6 that just broke over the weekend. Can you just tell us a little bit about it, Lee?
Yeah, certainly, Tony. This is the second one I've had during the past 12 months or so. The first one was fantastic, no problems whatsoever. So if this one's as good as the first one, then happy days, and I'll be fine. Really good treatment. Everything went really well. No problems at all.
So yeah, I was a dentist. And this is the scanner I get now. So if you actually go online and look up, there's a company I follow. I've forgotten the name now, but basically, they're based in New Zealand, and they go through reviews of all different types of scanners and 3D printers, and the Medit always comes out very highly, and there's how cheap do you want to go or how expensive do you want to go, but this does it all. And for when you're scanning just dentures, you're better off with a bigger head on the scanner than a small one for a variety of reasons, but these work great. And also with these, you can now do a digital scan, which basically means is from a dental point of view, when you do what was called a reline, and I'm not saying it's perfect at the moment, but it will be soon. And there was another aspect about it. Yeah, they also have a caries diagnostic tool, and it was in the beta phase a while ago. There are about 4 scanners, and they do caries diagnosis. So basically, they spot decay. So the other video that I made was on applying silver diamine fluoride. So if you went into a school or a care home with one of these scanners, it tells you where you can, if there's any decay there, and then you can apply the SDF. So these things, they're portable. It shows you there, a MacBook. It's just brilliant what you can do now. It's just we should be doing it, and nurses can do it. I think that was in one of the different videos, but you don't need to be a dentist to do this. And oh yeah, so this is again, I think this is when Liverpool were playing, and obviously they're going to win the league this year. But if you go on to, if you buy a 3Shape or you buy any other scanner, it probably has the same sort of instructions. But Medit are really good at with their tutorials, their online tutorials. So this is one of them, and it's about how to make a replica denture. It will also have sections on, surprisingly enough, on doing crowns and veneers. And I think I got a video of someone else who shows you how to 3D print veneers. But this is all about dentures. Yeah, and this is the guy. So his name's Wally, and if you type in Wally and MOD on YouTube, you'll find him. And just like as with myself, just go through the playlist. So this is him talking, I think, going through the order in which he scans the denture, as opposed to how most other people do. You just get a technique. That's it. Yeah, so that's enough of that. but go on to him. Now, if you haven't got a scanner and can't get a dentist, then this is the scan on the, it's called Creality Lizard, right? So anyway, I've made this video, and I think you'll probably see me with my yellow glasses. Did I have yellow? Yeah, with my yellow glasses. Now that's a good look. That's enough of my face. But I'll add that. I won't add that at the end. There's a link at the end. If you actually go onto my YouTube channel and type in 3D, and you'll see one that's 20 minutes long, and that's me showing how to do it on a home scanner. And this one is, well, clearly these videos don't always work from Keynote when I do the presentation on that, but I'll add it at the end, so please invest. Right, so I'll add that one at the end because often the sound doesn't come out great. And this was, it looks like this is the presentation that I did. And this is something that I did when was that, February 24. And this is when I was trying to get people interested in making it profitable for nurses to go to care homes. And when they're there, they can show the oral health champions how to look after the residents' teeth. And on the previous, on the tutorial I made on SDF, it shows what great stuff we can do. And you don't have to be clinically qualified to do it, I don't think. But we could get into a bit of trouble, you know. Anyway, what's the worst that can happen? I think actually the worst that can happen is people die of pneumonias, but as long as we don't get into trouble with the GDC. Oh, right, so enough of that. So this is a reference point, and this is, I think, when they brought out the Quality Commission said we want oral health champions in care homes, which is great, but as you know, they don't pay for it. So 25% of care homes have an oral health champion. This is to try and improve matters, as you would say. And the way that it'll work is if it saves the care home money, and it does if people last longer, live longer, healthier in the care home. And I'm not saying cleaning your teeth will make you live 10 times longer, and who would want to, but it should stop dental pain. Anyway, so this was the idea. So I've made a 3D dental portal, so I have got a 3D dental website, and I made, I think we'll see bits of it, a platform for people to upload their scans. So as I was saying quite a few of these things, I'm not going to repeat what's written down, so just pause it and have a little read. So the idea, the solution of the problem was to empower nurses to go on these courses that our government run and acquire these skills. And you can see there I got a 3D dental logo. I changed it after that, but the whole idea is to, dentists, and I was a dentist, it's quite a struggle and a huge time, what's it called, a time pit when you go to see one person in a care home. And we used to get paid a fee when I was on the health service for going to the care home, but that was never really adequate anyway, and now we don't have them. So the idea is to get dental nurses to go there, and if you also type in asynchronous checkup on YouTube, it shows how we can do this. But all the skills that are written down there, you don't need 14 months to learn how to do this, right? So I'm going to set up some courses, and they won't be long courses, but there'll be enough for you to acquire the skills to do all these sort of things. And the best thing about this is that you can practice amongst yourselves. You can get a spare denture and just practice on the denture until you're reasonably competent, and then if it's not good enough, the computer tells you this isn't good enough. The computer says no. So in a way, this is disruptive innovation because you don't need a dentist. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than making a traditional dentist. And yeah, all these things that I've written down, it's true, right? So normally it takes 4 visits, weekly visits at best, if things go smoothly. So you can imagine the cost to get a replacement denture in a care home is over £1,000. And if they're a dementia patient, then they'll lose them just as quick, or you will lose them. It's just sad. But we can do this. So if you can either get your replacement, or you can just keep the scan until you lose the denture and then get it a few days later. So scan it. So I think I put that down because it's green. So, and everyone's after sustainability. So it's one visit, not four. It's you don't have material wastage, which normally costs a lot. So you don't have the stone that you make the model from. You don't have the silicons that you make the impression from, and it's just quick. It's only 2 visits, and only one of them needs to be at the dentist. And in Ireland, they fitted 200 replica dentures, and they none of them needed adjusting. You should just send them, right? Anyway, preserve your smile, scan it. So to market it, so the website, yeah, I didn't use that 3D dental website, and the photo of me is obviously touched up big time. But this is what I want to do, is to make an app that is a portal for all these things. So the website I'm building at this moment in time, we're making a registration site. So you will be able to do this in about, April now, in June, right? So as long as we get any interest. So basically the nurse will market the service, because she'll be on the website. She'll be there. If anyone goes on it, the public go on it, find a nurse who'll come to the care home, that'll be there, and she can either pay 500 for the one that takes 20 minutes, or she can take the one from the practice, if the dentist will let it. If he'll rent it, he'll probably just take the profit, but there we go. So then the website I was going to be 3D Dental was to market the service, but we'll do that through the dental health service. Use a fine scanner via phone. All right, yeah. So then it'll be putting them in touch with the lab, and then as it says, all these different things that you can do, and so anyone can promote their services. The way it works for dentists, obviously, it's more, I wouldn't say it's more customizable, but you have more services that you can offer, and so it works extremely well when you're trying to promote other services that, quite frankly, people want, such as, from tooth whitening, which I think is very good, to tooth alignment, again very good, bit too expensive for what it is. It's American, everyone's heard of the name. There are others coming out there, but yeah, these Invisalign, they're actually not made on a 3D printer, but they soon will be, and some are, and it's all kind of interesting stuff, really, but we just need to do it. So this is, on the video that I made, there's a transformation of the woman on the left to the woman on the right. It's the same woman, right? It's just one, obviously, without her teeth. So, and you get your money back really quick with one of these scanners. So that was the whole idea. You get a nurse to have the scanner, you scan it, you get it printed, sent to the person, and then, again, these are from the website that I made, and you can have a variety of finishes, and that's a variety with the replicas. As I said before, you can do an awful lot more if you get someone who's just had a bit more, need a dentist to do it, or a denturist to do it. The relines, a hygienist can train to do it, as it is showed with the out-of-date health education in England. They run courses for technicians, but they're all based on the old method of doing things. They don't teach this, and this is what we should be doing. We should be training for all these different new aspects. And while I'm talking about replica dentures all the time, you can actually make partial dentures. So a nurse can scan, and then the dentist can fit. If you play around with the parameters, you can make a loose denture just to give it with a fixative. It'll keep someone going until they can get a really, a closer fitting one fitted by a dentist. And they're flexible dentures. There's all kinds of different things that you can do. So these three, like the flexible dentures, I've fitted loads of these made in the traditional way. The material for the printer isn't quite there yet. It's still a little bit too thick. By the time, at the end of the year, they'll have them. Right, okay, and then the next one was, so that was the idea. And as I was saying, as well as replica dentures, you can do all of those things, but you can also, when you scan the mouth, for any patient, you can make them a night guard. The retainers get shabby if they've got the 3D, if they've got the scan, the user, any member of the public will be able to keep their scan, and we can store it for them. And when they lose, as it says there, the gum shield, how many of them end up getting put through a hot wash? So you need another one, and you can get it, again, just by sending it off and get it delivered direct to home. We should be doing these things, and having that done, I think there's, the gum shield should be fitted by a dentist, but you can buy something in the shop and that isn't fitted by the dentist. So let's just get the regulations up to date. And this thing here, right, everyone seems to have sleep apnea now, or snoring, or something along the lines. I can't see a good reason why this can't be made for anybody. But now I'm probably writing this from prison. But no, they have a look at that. It's got the name on the side. And yeah, so the reason I've said alchemy is because I follow Rory Sutherland, and he works in advertising, and the way we deal with people, it's all human behaviour, how we can improve health by improving human behaviour. So we spend an awful lot of time trying to make the fantastic looking restorations, when the best thing is if we didn't need to do them at all. But it's how we influence people to be willing to pay for prevention rather than willing to pay for treatment. And we're all guilty of that. We need to make it financially viable as a business for ourselves to be promoting prevention. And so the idea of this is, obviously the same thing, is you're going to get money from going in and making dentures, but at the same time, hopefully, you will be able to educate and help the carers themselves. And the bit about needing certification for dental radiography, to be honest, I've forgotten what I put that in for, but nurses can do radiographs, x-rays on prescription, but you don't need prescription to go to Spain on the plane, and that's the same amount of radiation. There ought to be something whereby you can just do a disclaimer, or get whoever you're seeing to give a consent form saying they're happy to have x-rays taken, and also this doesn't mention it, but cameras. So you take x-rays, scan the teeth, and cameras, you can do a checkup on that. And that's asynchronous care, whereby you take everything back, or you send it to the dentist, and the dentist can look at it at any time, and actually you can't really say it's a diagnosis because you can't palpate anything, but it's an awful lot better than nothing at all. So as it says there, let's use these scanners, and we only 6% in the UK have scanners, and that's probably because it's corporates and they probably don't think it makes any money. And all this is about using a scanner differently. I never made a denture with my scanner. I did crowns, I did bridges, I did onlays, I did inlays, I did veneers, and these are all things you weren't meant to do, but they work fantastic. I hope they're still there. But yeah, some of the things that I did, they definitely lasted 10 years when you didn't think they'd last 5 minutes. So anyway, you can copy the dentures, and we can use the AI from the scanners to help with the assessment. And the last thing is using the scanner to look for any caries in a decay in children at schools, and then just applying the silver diamine fluoride, so they don't need to have a filling, so they don't need to have the tooth out, so they don't become dental phobics by the time they're 12. So this right. So this I think is me trying to plug the dental health service, saying no, that's to plug the dentist to get an extra denture. So if you're going to get one made, why not get two? Nurses will be listed on the dentalhealthservice.net website, and that'd be the price for a dentist. For if I get 100 dentists to pay that amount, then I would be, I could make a dental app for everyone. So the BHAG was a big, hairy, audacious goal. That's the dental health service, and as well as hubs where you don't have a dentist, you just go in and get your teeth scanned, and these are the references for all that. And Yeah, I'm going to start coughing soon. So these are 5-minute videos on the Teeth for Health website, all DHS Dental Health Service, all different things that we could and should be doing, but we're just too scared because of the regulators. And that's the latest homepage, because it says register and login. So hopefully you'll have that within a couple of weeks. Oh, and hopefully have this. It's the same thing. This. Okay, so and have an app. Right, so I think that's the last slide. Okay, well, I'll say this is a bonus section. And earlier the video didn't play, which is the pitch. And so this is really a pitch, well, to try and get some money to make an app. And I'm going to show it at the show here. I think I'll have more joy here than when I have the dental show. And so let's hope that I can find someone who's keen on this sort of thing. And the other part is, the other video, just go onto YouTube and type in 3D Dental, and please subscribe. The more people that subscribe, the more likely the general public will find this free resource, which I hope you find useful. Oh, there's the button to press. Here's a presentation for a website to finance a dental health service, free at the point of contact. My name's Tony Smith. I retired to continue trying to promote public prevention in dental health, and I think I can help with this problem following the course that I went on in December 2022, which highlighted the problem of denture loss. I'm going to consolidate my different resources to this one page for the public and the profession, and include access to teledentistry and 3D printing. Making dentures hasn't changed in about 50 years, but it has now. We can do them digitally and make exact replica copy dentures. Anyone with our free app can contact a dentist through our website and be able to have their denture scanned, return it to us, and we can put it in touch with a lab, and the lab will just forward the exact copy replica of the denture direct to your home. It's green, it's a lot cheaper. Anyone who can forward an email can forward the scan, and that can be sent to a dental lab. Dental lab will have people there who can actually set it up for the printing. The digital technician sends the scan to the printer, and in this case makes it in one colour. Currently, the digital technician requires to do a little bit more work to make the print in 2 colours. Another option is to paint. There are lots of different options regarding these teeth, and like all things dental, with a variety of prices. So this spreadsheet shows the return if you make dentures on the health service, and it takes over an hour to do it, and the lab fee incurred. It involves a fair amount of chairside adjustment and materials. Unlike if you make a copy denture, if a patient comes to the practice and has a denture that they're happy with, you want to scan it before they lose it, and if you make another one, this is the hourly rate. Alternatively, like this denturist in Dublin, you can visit the care homes and scan the dentures for the patients, and then get a copy set made, and this is the amount of money she got out of 2 days' work. If a nurse goes to a care home, she can scan the denture, but she can also scan the mouth. And this scanner has a caries diagnosis tool, which will be very useful, because they can also apply a varnish to decaying teeth. And this is the price of our lab. In fact, you can do it all yourself. You don't need a surgery. Those dentists that have scanners generally use them for the lucrative adult orthodontics. The rest of the time they are idle. However, nurses are now able to do a lot more under the new dental apprenticeships, and they've always been able to scan teeth. And this is how they can help. As the scanners are portable, a nurse can take them to a care home, and she can scan the denture as well as scan the mouth. Support the oral care champions in the residents' homes. But I need help with this. I need some help with social media marketing, because it needs money. And I've also produced some marketing videos for doctors' surgeries, because general health and oral health are related. I don't have the ability to build a robust website with suitable data analytics, nor do I have a server that can help send encrypted files. It was only last week that I came across a fee scale that would be applicable to the NHS, and also the material has improved as it does year on year. So this was published in October last year, demonstrating the viability of making copy dentures in the care home environment, and below are the copy dentures that I made and fitted just before Christmas. At the review, a month later, he'd put his old dentures in a box just to keep as a spare. He'd had no problems with them whatsoever. So these figures illustrate the potential income with the early adopter dentists who paid £10 a month as a registration fee, and if we got paid £5 per scan from the lab. The total gross fee is the green and the grey added together, as you can see on the third graph. When we get over 100 early adopters, we'll increase the fee. These figures shows the potential income if the dentist had a nurse specific for this role, or the potential if we had mobile units providing this service. Apart from copy dentures, there are lots of other types of dentures that can be produced using this 3D printing technique. It'll really take off. And there's quite a few people with dentures, and the majority just want to have cleaner looking teeth. Lots of other devices that can be made from an STL file that don't involve a dentist having to see the patient. I should have put bleaching trays there, not retainers twice. But this is interesting. That's the number of people whose snoring impacts on. And this is a device that's being launched in May. And hopefully our website will be ready by then to take on anyone who feels their partner might benefit from an anti-snoring device. The alchemy here is that all the dental team can customize the app. The ones that will benefit most financially from it will pay for it. And within the app, as well as marketing the individual, it also markets health. This needs a healthy investment from someone who is after a legacy project that all society benefits from.